What is up, guys? We are back again today with another video. Now, and like my video the other day that I posted, we are doing another tiers list video. However, this time we are not doing the NFL and we're not doing NFL teams. For this tiers list, we are going to be doing the Call of Duty franchise, and we are going to be listing the games from top to bottom that I personally enjoyed, the ones that I think were the best. And let it be known that I have played all of the Call of Duties for the most part. I might not have played all of them, but I played, a majority of them, enough to, give my opinion on them. And with that being said, let me know what you guys think of these tiers videos down below in the comments. I'm trying to add something new to the channel other than just Let's Plays. I want to be able to kind of add just another, avenue of content to my channel. This one's going to be a little bit more like, hey, this is my opinion. I want to know what you guys think. Let me know down below in the comments. And yeah, we're just going to try and float around these different kinds of tiers lists and just see what you guys kind of think, kind of engage with the audience a little bit more. But nonetheless, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Alrighty, guys, here we are. Here, as you guys can see, we have our tiers. We have GOAT, we have good, we have okay, we got bad, we got trash, and we got never played. And as you can see down below, we have our list of games. Now, I know the list is duplicated so that there's two of, a copy of each. We're just going to ignore that. We're just going to go ahead and breeze through the whole first list. And so with that being said, let's go ahead and get into our list. Alrighty, first game on the list, we have Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. I'm not going to lie, I actually played through the campaign on this one, and I actually somewhat really enjoyed it. The multiplayer was actually pretty nice, too. One of the things that I really have always liked about the Call of Duty Black Ops franchise, or, whatever you want to call it, with their multiplayer, is that they have really good party games. And one thing that Cold War, Black Ops Cold War had that not really any other Call of Duties that I remember had, I know that there's probably been some in the past, but this is the most recent one, is Prop Hunt. I loved Prop Hunt on this multiplayer. I had a lot of fun with my friends playing it. I had a lot of fun just playing by myself on it. Like, if you can catch me on multiplayer having fun by myself, you're doing something right. So, with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and put Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. I'm not going to put it maybe not in good, maybe not in GOAT, but it was okay. You know what? Actually, you know what? I'm going to... I'm gonna put it in good for now. I might change it based off of what we see all these other Call of Duties, but I liked it. The zombies was refreshing. The first map was really good for the zombies. The multiplayer was pretty good with the party games, and the campaign, like I said, was pretty good. So, with all that being said, I actually enjoyed Cold War. I know there's gonna be a lot of people who don't agree with that, who didn't like Cold War, but that's just me. That's where I'm gonna put it. And with that being said, we're gonna move on to the next game. So, with the next game, we have Call of Duty 2, one of the OG Call of Duty games, one of the very first ones that ever came out. I'll be honest with you guys, I played through this probably once as a kid, and, other than it being an OG Call of Duty, I don't really remember much about it. Obviously, it's a World War II campaign-based Call of Duty. I know it probably had multiplayer, however, I don't remember any of the multiplayer. I'm not going to, outright just say that it's bad. I'll put that it's okay. It was OG, ahead of its time for a World War II shooter. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and put that there. Next on the list is Call of Duty 3. Kind of the same thing as Call of Duty 2. A lot of these OG Call of Duty guys, like, I played through them, and I played through the campaign, and I do remember certain parts of the campaigns on these. So I'm not kind of just, talking out of my ass when I talk about these games. But with a lot of these OG ones, there just wasn't a whole lot to them other than them being like a World War II style campaign, shooter. Like, that was the MO for them. There wasn't a whole lot more to them, which, don't get me wrong, those are cool. And that was, that was the times that we were in for shooters. But they weren't really too special other than them being kind of like the OG games of the franchise. So same thing with Call of Duty 3. I'm going to put that it was okay, but that it wasn't great. Next on the list is Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. I'm automatically putting that in good. Like, I remember first playing through this, we first get introduced to Price, like, we first get introduced to a lot of the main characters in the Modern Warfare franchise. This is, really when Call of Duty was first put into the modern era. You had, a lot of your higher-end machine guns in it, a lot of your more tactical, like, SWAT, like, Black Ops type missions in it, like, this wasn't a World War shooter. It was, the first one of the franchise that was really like that. So with all that being said, especially the whole being introduced to Captain Price, one of the most beloved Call of Duty characters in the whole franchise, that really made this game special, and it really made it an OG in the Modern Warfare franchise. And so I think it deserves to be in good. Definitely better than Cold War, but they both had their things that were really good about it. Again, this was another one of those Call of Duties that I didn't really play a lot of the multiplayer for. I do know a lot of people talk very highly of the multiplayer in this, but I mostly enjoyed it because of its campaign and the good story. So, with that being said, we're going to move on to our next Call of Duty. Next Call of Duty on the list is Advanced Warfare. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I hated the phase of Call of Duty where it was like, let's get futuristic, let's take boots off the ground, and I'm sorry, but flat out, this game was bad. All right, the zombies was terrible. The story was okay. Like, if we were going just based off of campaigns, I would say that this might have go up in the okay category. It was kind of cool that they had people in the campaign that were like actors. It was kind of like when they really started doing that. I'm not gonna lie, they have Kevin Spacey in the story on this one. Even though Kevin Spacey has since been canceled, which made it kind of cool, just like seeing these actors that we know and that we've seen in other things be put into video games that we love. But I'm sorry, Advanced Warfare, the whole, yeah, look at me, I'm in a, in a, what do you call it, a high-tech suit, I can double jump, all that kind of shit. I just wasn't really into that. I didn't think it was that cool. So with that being said, I'm going to put that in bad, and we're just going to leave it at that. Next on the list, we have Call of Duty Black Ops 4. This is going to go in the okay category. I borderline almost would put it in good, except for I didn't care at all for the multiplayer. I don't think this had a campaign, which automatically, when a Call of Duty that, Call of Duty is a franchise that started, like I said, with these OGs with having a campaign. For it to not have a campaign just kind of automatically puts a weird taste in my mouth. I will say, though, the one saving grace of Black Ops 4 that puts it not in the bad category or trash or never played is the fact that it had Blackout. And Blackout is literally the thing that started Warzone and inspired Warzone. And I actually really loved Blackout for the the time before Warzone when we had Blackout. It was new, it was fresh, and it was it was pretty cool. I really did like Blackout. So that is the saving grace of Black Ops 4. And with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next one. Next on the list, we have Black Ops 3. Black Ops 3 was okay. The multiplayer was alright. It was Black Ops 3 was one of the ones too where it was like it's futuristic, but at the same time I could get more with Black Ops 3 than Advanced Warfare for the simple fact that I liked the guns better. The guns felt better. The movement was still somewhat better. The specialists were actually kind of cool to use. It was the first time we were introduced to the specialists. Zombies in this was actually awesome. That's, what? Oh, man. I might straight up have to put Black Ops 3. I got to put into good. I just remembered how Zombies was in Black Ops 3, and that was when they put in the Zombie Chronicles, which was basically, for those of you who don't know Zombie Chronicles, it was all the OG zombie maps that were in Black Ops 1. I think it was just Black Ops 1. There might have been Black Ops 2 maps in there. Correct me if I'm wrong down below in the comments, but they basically brought back the OG zombie maps, but you could have them where now you have Gobblegums. It's, remastered on this. That was a true saving grace of Black Ops 3 was zombies. They made that awesome. Nonetheless, though, like I said, multiplayer was alright. The campaign was alright. I don't really remember too much of the campaign. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't great. But zombies is what made this Call of Duty good and what made me come back to it multiple times. Alright, next on the list, though, we are going to go to arguably the best Call of Duty that was ever made. And that is Black Ops 2. Black Ops 2 was flat out... When Black Ops 2 came out, I had some of the greatest memories of all time playing online games with friends on Black Ops 2. In fact, I met one of my best online gaming friends on Black Ops 2 in custom lobbies. Like, there are so many memories that I had made on Black Ops 2, whether it was through the multiplayer, through the zombies, through the campaign. Every single bit of Black Ops 2, I don't care what you say, Black Ops 2, everything about it was perfect. There was nothing wrong with Black Ops 2. It was literally peak Call of Duty, in my opinion. So, with that being said, Black Ops 2, GOAT category. With that actually also being said too, I'm moving Advanced Warfare down to trash. Um, I just yeah, it was terrible. Black Ops 1, we're gonna go ahead. I want to say Black Ops 1. See, this one's tough for me too. Black Ops 1's got to go in GOAT category for me too. I'm sorry, but I grew up a lot on Black Ops 1, the original. It was the first time we were introduced to Nuketown. It had firing range, had summit, had some of the best multiplayer maps to ever come out of a Call of Duty. The guns were fun to use. I actually wanted a prestige. Like, it was so cool to prestige. It had great zombie maps. Kino der Toten was amazing. They brought back all the originals, like from World at War, like Derice. They had what was it called, Nostra and Toten. Like, there was just so many great things about not only the zombies but the multiplayer. And I don't even know if I said it about really Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 1. Both of them were probably, I love the Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 campaigns. Like, those to me were so fun, and I could play through both of those tons of times without getting bored. Like, that's how much into the story I was and how much I truly loved those games. But nonetheless, Black Ops 1 GOAT tier. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Next on the list, we have Call of Duty, and it looks like it literally just says Call of Duty, so I'm guessing this is the original Call of Duty. With that being said, I don't remember ever playing the original Call of Duty, like where it had no number following it. I actually remember playing Call of Duty 2 and Call of Duty 3. This one I've never played before. Not saying that it's trash or that it wasn't good or anything like that. I've just never played it before, so if I put a game in here, don't necessarily take it as me saying that it's the worst out of all this list. I just have not personally myself played it, therefore I can't give an accurate, judgment or assessment of the game. So I'm sure this one was great when it comes to OG World War II shooter games, but I just never played it. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next game. Next on the list, we have Call of Duty Ghost. I'm putting Call of Duty Ghost in just the okay section because I actually really liked the campaign for this Call of Duty. However, the multiplayer was just okay. The extraction mode, or whatever they called it, the alien, like almost like the mode that they tried to substitute zombies for, that they put into this, that wasn't too good. Multiplayer, like I said, was alright. Campaign was amazing. That was the only part of it that I really thought was great about this Call of Duty, was the campaign. And if the multiplayer was just a little bit better, it would go up in the good. But other than that, I just can't really move it up into the good. It's got to stay okay. And like, the whole ghosts like aspect of it really just had to do with the campaign, and I really liked that aspect of it. Like, I liked the aspect of we're not the big superpower of the story. Like, we are the underdogs. We are the ones that are, we don't have the great firepower. We do not have the bigger masses. We do not have the more soldiers. Like, in this one, you had to be more sneaky. You had to be smart. You had to be tactical and whatnot. And so I really enjoyed that about the campaign. And with all that being said, I think it deserves to be in the okay, not the good, not the go. And we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next Call of Duty. Next on the list, we have Infinite Warfare. Yeah, Infinite Warfare just wasn't good. Like, the campaign, it had its moments. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it had its moments where it was a tearjerker. Like, when you're dying and you're talking to your robot friend Ethan, like, I'm not gonna lie, that was a tearjerker for me. Like, the campaign was good. It was still that futuristic, like, hey, we're up in a spaceship in space, like, type of stuff where, we got these kind of like these, super suits, we got these techie guns, all of that. It just wasn't for me, man. Like, I didn't play any of the multiplayer really in this. Like, I played probably very little. I don't even remember really if there was like a zombies or a special ops really mode in this. I didn't play any of that. The only thing that was okay about this game was the campaign, and it just wasn't enough to be put up in the okay like Call of Duty Ghost was. It's just, yeah, it wasn't good. Like, and in fact, like, these two, to me, honestly, I blend together. Like, I forget, like, differences between Infinite Warfare and Advanced Warfare, but they're both just not that good. Like, that whole futuristic boots off the ground movement between these two games was just not great. It was not a good time in Call of Duty, at least in my opinion. Next on this list, we have Call of Duty Vanguard, and I'm not gonna lie, this came out during Warzone 1's, kind of peak time, maybe a little bit towards the end of when Warzone was really peaking. And I'll be honest with you, I think 90% of the people who got this game literally only played it to level up guns for Warzone. Now, that might be me just taking a shot at the game, but I'm gonna go on a limb and say that that's mainly why people got it. That's literally the only reason why I got the game. It was so I could level up guns for Warzone, because they literally made it so you couldn't use the game in the multiplayer. You know, in Call of Duty Modern Warfare's multiplayer, you had to buy this game, play the multiplayer to level up to use in Warzone, or you were screwed. You just had to level up, level the gun up in Warzone. So with that being said, the campaign was just not interesting at all. It was another World War II, Call of Duty. Like, I didn't really care at all. It was been there, done that. Like, there was no really interesting characters. Like, the maps were okay, the guns felt okay, but other than that, this game was just not that good. It was borderline bad in my opinion. Like, it it had no draw to it at all, really. I mean, borderline, I could put this game in trash if I truly was feeling like being harsh, but we're going to go ahead and not. We're going to leave it in bad. We're going to move on to the next one. Next Call of Duty, we have Call of Duty World at War, and I'm not going to lie, this Call of Duty for me was good. This was a good Call of Duty. The campaign, I really liked. I mean, I don't know if this was the first Call of Duty that was like this, but it was definitely one of the first ones I remember being like this and that I really enjoyed. It was, you could play the campaign on this split screen with your buddy or your cousin or your brother, next to you, whoever, and have so much fun in this, man. Like, going through, the jungle and the ambushes and using the flamethrowers and clearing out the bunkers, like, this campaign was amazing. We got introduced to Reznov, one of the most beloved characters in the Call of Duty Black Ops kind of franchise. And overall, this introduced us to Call of Duty Nazi Zombies, which was obviously became really popular and a lot of people loved. Like, you can't have Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 without having Call of Duty World at War. Like, Call of Duty World at War crawled so Black Ops 1 could walk and so that Black Ops 2 could run. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, like, it was the OG Godfather of those two games, and I really enjoyed it. So with that being said, I'm going to put it at good, and we're going to move on to the next Call of Duty. All right, next on this list, we have Call of Duty World War II, and this one is going to be a hot take for me. And when I say hot take, I mean a good hot take. I actually very much enjoyed Call of Duty World War II. The campaign for this Call of Duty was actually so refreshing, and the story was it was so good, man. Like, the cutscenes and the characters you just get so attached to. Like, the sergeant in the game was Josh Duhamel. For those of you who don't know actors' names and don't really follow actors, Josh Duhamel is the soldier that is in the Transformers movies. He's the main soldier. He's the kick-ass pretty boy who's in there, He's in this Call of Duty as your sergeant and does such a kick-ass job at acting in that story as the sergeant. Like, there's just no way for you to not like that character. He was a bit of a hard ass at points in the story, but that's what made you love him even more, is because he was a hard ass on you because he cared and he wanted you to, survive. And then the lieutenant in there, I forget what his fucking name was, but the lieutenant, the scene in there where he literally gets wounded, but he still decides to stay back and hold off the enemy so that you and your troops can get away, is one of the saddest, most awesome, badass scenes that I have ever seen in a Call of Duty. Like, if you guys have not played Call of Duty World War II's story mode, I highly suggest that you get the game and you play through it, because you will not regret it. It is one of the best World War II shooter story modes that I have ever played in a game, and it was really refreshing to see a World War II shooter that was as good as that, and it had such a rich story. And on top of that, the multiplayer wasn't terrible. It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible, and I could actually somewhat enjoy it and did enjoy it. And the fact that you could go back to your barracks and, like, run around with your friends and just kind of be derpy and whatnot was a lot of fun too. I mean, I had a lot of great moments in this Call of Duty with the multiplayer with my friends too, but the thing that made this game belong in the good category was that story-rich campaign. And so with that being said, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next Call of Duty. All right, next on this list, we have Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the original. And let me just say, this automatically goes right up here with the GOATs. Black Ops 2, in my opinion, is the greatest. Like, if there's a top of the GOATs, this is the top of the GOATs. But right after that is Modern Warfare 2, then Black Ops 1. Like if I'm going in order, it goes like this, in my opinion. Like none of these I'm really going in order, like in their actual specific tier. But Modern Warfare 2, came out right just before Black Ops 1 and it was phenomenal. Like I remember using the intervention, going in quick scoping lobbies and just having a blast in this one, man. Like I remember so many times going over to my friend's house, having sleepovers, and just all night gaming Modern Warfare 2, waking up, gaming it all the rest of the day too. Like there was just so many peak great memories on the multiplayer, and then on top of that, the campaign, man. Like I said about Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, you pick right up where you left off with Captain Price. We get introduced to Soap, we get introduced to Ghost, and like, oh my god, what a great fucking story, man. That campaign was so ahead of its time. It was so legendary. And then it has one of the biggest betrayals in all of Call of Duty history in it when what was it? Roach and Ghost are meeting up to go get picked up by Shepard, and then one thing leads to another, and Shepard pulls out a gun and shoots Roach and Ghost. I'm not gonna lie, as a kid, that was one of the biggest betrayals I've ever seen in my life. And I think every single time I ever watched that scene, I literally cried, bro. Like as a kid, I literally cried because you get so attached to these characters, man. As a kid, as a teenager, like playing through these campaigns, like you start to really like the characters, and then to see them get betrayed and just die like that, so like cold blooded, was just, it was a tug on your heartstrings, man. And nonetheless, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 will go down in history as one of the greatest of all time, not just in my opinion, but I think by the greater majority of Call of Duty fans. So, with that being said, it belongs in the GOAT category, and we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one. Next on this list, we have Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, which I think Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 was great. It wasn't as good as these three here, but it was definitely good. Like, the campaign, like I said, picked up where it left off. Modern Warfare 2, great with Captain Price. We don't have what's his face Ghost anymore, obviously, but that's all right. Excuse me. Captain Price carries this Call of Duty's campaign so hard, and he's so awesome in it. Like, you start off the game by obviously losing Soap, and that sucked, man. That was another pulling on your heartstrings, but that just made the runway for Price to just go on this savage berserk mode where he was going to stop at nothing to stop whatever was in his way or get through it. And by the end, when you finally kill the main enemy, Makarov, like that was just awesome, man. Like one of the greatest campaigns too, on top of, all these other campaigns I've been talking about. And the multiplayer overall was really good. I will say it was a lot like Modern Warfare 2's campaign. There wasn't a whole lot of differences. I mean, they might have added some guns, changed some guns. One thing I remember more about Modern Warfare 3 that I don't really remember of Modern Warfare 2 was I loved playing the infected mode on Modern Warfare 3. I had a lot of fun with that on the multiplayer. But with that being said, Modern Warfare 3 definitely belong in the good category. Not GOAT, but like I said, great game. Deserves to be in good category. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one. Next on this list, we have the newest Call of Duty in the Call of Duty franchise, and it's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, but the remastered, or whatever you want to call it, the remake, however you want to call it. I'm putting it in the good category. I would almost put it in the okay, other than the fact that I actually really liked the remake for the campaign. I thought they did a phenomenal job with that. Like, you had these same characters that a lot of us grew up with, but they changed it in a way where it's like they didn't change the character's personality. You still had the Captain Price that you knew. You still had the Simon Riley Ghost that you knew. You still had the Soap that you knew, but they told a new story with them that was just, it felt like it was like just a refresh. It was a refresh, but with these same characters that we grew up with, and I really, really liked it. Now, moving on to other aspects of the game, multiplayer for this, it's not terrible. It very much relies on people wanting to play the OG maps like Shipment and whatnot, and that, the maps that this Call of Duty has come out with are not that great. I'll be honest with you, they're all right. And then as far as Warzone, the Warzone of this Call of Duty very, very much is successful because of the first Warzone and the fact that people can't go back and play the first Warzone, so people still play this one. However, a year after this Warzone has been out for this Call of Duty, it's already died off a lot. There's a lot of issues with it where, people are wanting these fixes and these changes, but the people who are, run the game, the developers and whatnot, the creators, they're not listening to us and they're not changing the different things that we want. That is the one thing that's keeping this game from being in the GOAT category rather than just being in the good. I mean, like I said, this game borderline deserves to be in okay just because the Warzone has so many problems with it, like more than the original Warzone that first came out, and it all has to do with just balancing and maps and just there's lots of things that can change in this game that would make it a lot better as far as the Warzone capacity. But with that being said, still a good Call of Duty. I still play it to this day. And with that being said, we're going to leave it in the good category. All right, next on this list, we have Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the remake of essentially, the original Modern Warfare. And I'm gonna, couple this together with the original Warzone, being that they're on the same ordeal. Same thing with this actually with Warzone 2.0. We're just gonna keep these together. I'm not gonna talk any more about them. They are linked together. They're the same game for me. So with that being said, we put this one up here along with this one because I'll be honest with you, after that long pause of there not being a good Call of Duty, and when I say that, I'm talking about Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. It was nice having this Modern Warfare style back. You know what I mean? Like, the campaign for this was great. Brought us back Price. It brought us back all these other characters that we really, really liked. And then the Warzone was peak Battle Royale gaming. This original Warzone, running around with that Car 98 or using the Kilo or using the MP5, whatever the loadout of that time was, running around in Verdansk was peak Call of Duty gameplay. Like, I don't care what you say, how much you liked Warzone, how much you didn't like Warzone. The Modern Warfare maps were really good for multiplayer. It introduced us to gunfight, the 2v2 gunfights. Those were so much fun to play. The gunfights, the 2v2s, whether you're playing with the buddy or playing with the random, the maps were great. I remember, personally, me and my friend group, we played so many custom gunfights against, just all of our friends. Like, had so much fun and so many memories on that. And like I said, playing Verdansk was just it was ahead of its time, man. It was so damn good. And then when they introduced Rebirth Island, the prison Alcatraz map, that was such a good map too. Like, original Warzone was just peak Call of Duty gameplay. I know I've said it already a bunch of times now, and I'm sounding like a broken record, but that is the reason why it belongs up here in the GOAT category, along with Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops. That's why these belong up there with that, is because of the peak Battle Royale gaming. The maps on the multiplayer were good, the guns felt good, and overall, it felt like a good game. So, with that being said, guys, it looks like we are back around to the beginning where it restarts with Cold War. So I believe we have gotten, all through the list, from top to bottom. I think, I like my list. All right. I think I've done pretty good with my list. And, there might be a couple that you would move up and down depending on, when you grew up or what your style of Call of Duty that you enjoyed playing is. But in my opinion, this is, the GOATs all the way down to the trash. Sorry, Advanced Warfare and the people that made Advanced Warfare. I did not have any fun playing that. Same thing with Infinite. Same thing with Vanguard. These ones are okay just because they were OG. Blackout was great on Black Ops 4. The Call of Duty Ghost was great. All of these ones had multiple aspects of the game that made it really fun and I really enjoyed. And then these right here are just the greatest Call of Duties of all time that were ever made. The ones that I had the most memories on, that I made the most friends on, that I probably played the most hours on. And with that being said, that's going to conclude this tiers video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about these tiers down below. Let me know what you guys would move up, what would you move down, what you agreed with, what you disagreed with. And if you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button. And if you guys want to see more content, hit that subscribe button like always. And without further ado, I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.